going to illustrate how to set up field testing in the Vretta platform. The first thing teachers will need to do is to be logged in to the digital assessment platform with their teacher account. What they should see is a list of categories that they can select assessments for. Since we are conducting a field test, we are going to be selecting the Session 2 Grade 9 field test and click on the Create New Grouping. Once I've clicked on this Create New Grouping button, I'm going to set up a name that would be relevant for my class. Click on OK to create the grouping. Once I've created the grouping, I can then click on Start or Schedule an Assessment Session. From the drop-down list, I will need to choose the appropriate field for the test. For this example, I'll select English Language Arts 9 FT Part A WR 120 minutes. A scheduling range will open in a blue box below this. I will need to be able to set a date that it occurs between the two dates provided. This can be done by simply clicking beside the month, selecting the date that falls between in the range, selecting the day, leaving the year the same. I can also change the time to fit what I would need it for. For this, I'm going to set at 9 a.m. This is also where I would be able to set the number of students that I'm going to be including for my field test. A note to remember here is that if your students change one way or another before the test or on the date of the test, you don't need to go in and modify this. I would simply next view and read over the confidentiality agreement and then clicking on OK. What you'll notice is that my scheduled assessment now shows in my active and scheduled assessment sessions area. If for some reason I need to change the date of my assessment, I can do this by simply clicking on my assessment and then changing the date. And then clicking on OK. You can note that the schedule has changed up at the top of my session. On the day of the field test, you simply need to provide the students with the access code that appears in the top right side in a pink box. This is the code that the students will use to log into the field test on that date. It's important to note that teachers don't need to register or add kids to the grouping, as they will populate in the class the same as they would do on any other field test or assessment session. Clicking back on my grade 9 field test, I will be able to see my active assessments. It's also here where I would be able to set up another field test in the same grouping. I can do this the same way as I did previously by clicking on Start or Schedule an Assessment Session, selecting Field Tests, identifying the field test I would like to set, and then filling in the information according to the range and when I would like to set that for my class. Then simply clicking on OK. You will be able to see here now that I've got 2 field tests scheduled for my one grouping.